I want you to forget what you think you know. Today, we are diving deep, analyzing the raw mechanics of influence, ambition, and, well, survival.
All right, listen up. Here's our battle plan. We're going to cover 5 operational mandates, starting with how to just secure your position and then escalating all the way to total victory. And let's be clear, these are not suggestions. They are doctrines, forged in the brutal arena of human history. Every phase is critical. Each one builds on the last. So, let's begin.
Our first principle isn't about aggression, not at all. It's about survival. You see, before you can even think about advancing, you have to learn how to navigate the invisible forces that control every single hierarchy. This is the unchangeable physics of power. Think of law number 1 as a law of celestial physics. It's not optional. It dictates that you must know, without a doubt, where the center of gravity is in your world. The master is the sun. They're the source of all light, all warmth, and every promotion in your sphere. To challenge this isn't just a bad career move. It's like challenging gravity itself. Just look at this core relationship. The master's ego is a star, and you're a moon in their orbit. Your number 1 job is to reflect their light, to make them appear even more brilliant than they are. When they have a good idea, your data confirms it. When they tell a joke, you laugh. Your own competence is there only to highlight their genius. This is the position of safety. But here's the critical error, the one that gets so many people into trouble. If you start to shine with your own light, if your talents get a little too bright, you're not reflecting anymore. You are competing, you're casting a shadow, you're creating an eclipse. And to the master, this isn't seen as healthy ambition. No, it's a direct challenge, an act of cosmic treason that threatens their entire universe. And the response, it's always swift, and it is always brutal. A master will not tolerate a second sun in their sky. They won't debate you. They won't mentor you to become their equal. They will extinguish your brilliance and shatter you into cosmic dust without a second thought, just to restore their own primacy. So the tactical takeaway here is this. Your survival depends on appearances. You need to be the mirror, not the source of light. Subtly show your flaws, ask for their advice, do whatever you can to deflect envy, and always make sure the master feels comfortably superior. As this quote makes clear, perfection is a luxury you just can't afford. Okay, you've secured your position. You've survived. Now we move from playing defense to actively maneuvering. You've got to learn how to advance on this battlefield of ambition. And that is the art of the indirect route, the masterful use of the fog of war. Let's be really clear about this. Your true intentions are your most valuable weapon. To reveal them is to basically hand your opponent your entire battle plan before a single shot has been fired. The element of surprise is gone, and you're left exposed, defenseless, your whole strategy neutralized before you could even begin. The amateur, well, they telegraph every single move. They make this direct frontal assault, marked in bright crimson. They charge ahead with trumpets blaring, announcing exactly what they're going to do, only to be met with a fortified wall. Why? Because they were seen coming from a mile away. Their directness is a fatal strategic flaw. The strategist, on the other hand, operates very differently. They create a phantom army, a decoy that draws all the attention and all the resources of the enemy. So while everyone is watching that loud, obvious advance, the real objective is being achieved silently, from a totally unexpected direction. They win the war before the enemy even knows a battle has begun. Remember this quote. Honesty can be a blunt, clumsy instrument, but ambiguity, misdirection, the occasional red herring, now those are weapons of infinite subtlety. They are your fog of war, a protective cloak that confuses your rivals while you move unseen toward your real goal. Now, let's switch gears and analyze the economics of influence. You see, your value isn't some fixed number. It's a currency. And just like any other currency, its worth is determined by supply and demand. You have to learn to control that supply.
Power operates under the same brutal laws as any market. Whatever is perpetually available, whatever is common, is inevitably devalued. Overexposure is the enemy of influence. It breeds a kind of contempt that's born from familiarity. The person who's always there is the person who's always taken for granted. Just take a look at this scarcity curve. The more you're seen and heard, the more common you become. Your value plummets down into that crimson zone of contempt. But when your presence becomes a rarity,
A calculated absence, its perceived value skyrockets into the gold standard of honor and respect. So, to increase your value, you have to engineer scarcity. It's a calculated maneuver. First, you withdraw from the stage, disappear from the social circle or from those key meetings. This creates a void, and it forces others to finally recognize the contributions you were making all along. When they start talking about you in your absence, your value rises. And then you return, not as you were, but as a sought-after prize. The mandate is crystal clear. Do not drown them in your presence. Make them thirst for your return. The less you say, the more profound you'll seem. The less you're seeing, the more your appearance becomes an event, something that commands attention and reverence. And now, for the final and most critical lesson, the end game. Once you have identified a true enemy, an opponent who will not back down, there is only one strategic imperative. This is how you deal with opposition decisively and permanently. You know, more conflicts are lost through half measures than through outright defeat. Compromising with a sworn enemy is not a sign of strength. It's just a prelude to your own destruction. If you strike, it has to be the final blow. You have to leave no room for recovery and zero possibility of reprisal. You have to understand this. To just wound an enemy is to leave a single ember glowing in the ash. And from that one ember, the fire of revenge will be rekindled, fanned by hatred and humiliation. Your mercy will be seen as weakness, giving them the time and the motivation to recover, regroup, and strike back with a venom you never saw coming. Look, this isn't a moral choice, it's a strategic one. Just look at the balance sheet. Mercy creates a future threat. Annihilation guarantees finality. Resentment is a poison that only grows stronger over time. By leaving no second chances, you secure your own position. This isn't about being cruel, it is about closing the book permanently. Remember this above all else. An enemy you've defeated but not completely crushed is more dangerous than they ever were before. Now they have nothing to lose and a burning desire for revenge. You must remove not only their power to harm you, but their very capacity to ever threaten you again. This briefing concludes with the one central mandate that holds up every law we've talked about today. This is the master key to the entire strategic framework, the one principle that governs all the others. This is the ultimate takeaway. Brute force is crude, it's ineffective. True power lies in shaping what other people see, what they think, and what they believe. Never outshining the master, that's about managing their perception of your threat level. Concealing your intentions, that's about controlling their perception of your goals. Engineering scarcity is about manipulating their perception of your value. And crushing an enemy? Well, that's about shattering the perception that you can be challenged without consequences. What you've learned today aren't just rules of engagement, they are tools of perception. Use them wisely. Briefing concluded.